You ever think about how The Wizard of Oz just like takes you away to this, I don't know, like a world of imagination?
Totally.
Well, get ready for another trip down the yellow brick road because today we're going to deep dive into the movie adaptation of Wicked.
Okay.
It's that musical prequel that reveals the untold story of the Witches of Oz, like before Dorothy ever got there.
Yeah.
We'll be unpacking the film's like record-breaking box office success, and we're going to explore how fans are reacting. We'll also take a look at how the story reflects some of the bigger cultural trends of 2024.
Yeah.
You ready to defy gravity and journey to Oz with us?
I am. What I think is really interesting about this particular movie is that Wicked doesn't just rehash like a familiar story.
Yeah.
It flips the script. It asks us to question our assumptions about good and evil. And to consider who gets to decide those labels in the first place.
Oh, for sure. And it seems like audiences are totally ready to just embrace that complexity.
Yeah.
The opening weekend box office numbers were absolutely mind-blowing.
I know, I heard about that.
$164 million globally.
Wow.
That's the highest opening weekend for a movie musical since Les Miserables. That was back in 2012.
Wow, yeah.
What do you think? Does this point to a larger resurgence of the movie musical, or is it more about the enduring power of this particular story?
I think it's probably a bit of both, right? You know, there's a certain magic to musicals.
Yeah.
That draws us in. Like the combination of the music, the storytelling, and the spectacle creates like a really immersive experience.
Yeah.
But Wicked also taps into something a lot deeper. You know, it gives us this world that we think we know.
Yeah.
We're familiar with it, but then it shows us a whole new perspective on it.
Yeah.
Challenging us to reconsider what we believe to be true.
And that challenge seems to be resonating with a lot of people, especially in 2024. Look at the broader trends this year. Amidst all the uncertainty and change in the world,
Yeah.
it seems like people are craving comfort and escapism. Could Wicked's success be connected to that at all? What do you think? I mean, what better escape than a journey to a magical land where witches ride broomsticks and sing their hearts out?
You're absolutely right. Escapism is definitely like a factor here. But it's not just about escaping reality. It's also about finding meaning and connection within that escape.
Yeah.
Wicked offers this world that is both fantastical and deeply relatable.
Okay.
It deals with themes of like friendship, self-discovery, and the courage to challenge norms, right?
Yeah.
Things that we all grapple with, regardless of whether we're in Oz or in the real world.
Right. It makes you think about your own circle of friends, those relationships that have shaped you. Have you ever had a friendship that challenged your perceptions or helped you see the world in a new way? That's what Elphaba and Glinda's relationship is all about, right? They start off as rivals, each representing opposing sides of a seemingly a black and white world.
Right.
But as their friendship deepens, the lines start to blur, and they begin to question everything they thought they knew.
Exactly. And the way that their relationship unfolds on screen is simply captivating. I mean, Cynthia Erivo brings such raw intensity to Elphaba, you know, capturing her struggle against prejudice and her determination to forge her own path. And Ariana Grande, I mean, she brings a surprising comedic flair to Glinda, reminding us that even the good witch has her own complexities and insecurities. It's a testament to both the actor's talent and the strength of the source material.
And that complexity extends beyond the characters themselves. It seems like the way audiences are engaging with the film is also prompting some really, really interesting conversations. Some people are singing along, filming scenes, taking selfies. Basically, it's like they're treating the movie theater like their own personal stage. It makes me wonder if social media has blurred the lines between being a spectator and a participant. What do you think? Is it possible to be fully present in a shared experience like a movie while also feeling the need to document it for, I don't know, like the online world?
That's such a fascinating question, and it's something that we're seeing play out across all sorts of cultural experiences, not just movies, right? It raises important questions about how we even define respect in these shared spaces. How do we balance our personal enjoyment with the experience of those around us?
Yeah.
There are no easy answers, but it's definitely a conversation worth having.
Totally. And it's a conversation that Wicked itself seems to be sparking, whether intentionally or not. But before we go too far down that rabbit hole, let's get back to the sheer magnitude of this film's success. By December 1st, just 10 days after its release, Wicked had already raked in over $360 million worldwide, putting it on track to be one of the top-grossing films of 2024.
And there's another record that Wicked shattered, which I find incredibly interesting.
Oh, okay.
It actually had the highest-grossing second weekend for a film that didn't secure the #1 spot.
What?
It beat out Incredibles 2 and Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse for that honor.
Wow, that's definitely defying gravity. But jokes aside, what do you think is driving this sustained success? Is it purely the spectacle, or is there something more at play here?
Well, the spectacle certainly plays a role. I mean, the visuals are stunning, the costumes are elaborate, and the music is, of course, phenomenal. But I think there's something deeper that's resonating with audiences. Wicked offers us this world that is both familiar and new, a world that allows us to escape while also challenging us to confront our own biases and assumptions.
You're right. Yeah. It's not just about singing along to catchy tunes. It's about engaging with these complex themes and ideas
Right.
that resonate on, like, a personal level.
Exactly. And those themes are woven so skillfully into the narrative, making them accessible and engaging for, like, a wide audience.
So we've got this incredible box office success, a story that's clearly resonating with audiences, and this cultural moment that seems primed for a film like Wicked to take center stage. But how does all of this translate into a lasting impact? What will Wicked's legacy be?
That's a great question, and one that I think we need to explore further. So picking up where we left off, let's consider how Wicked fits into the larger cultural landscape of 2024.
Okay.
We've touched on how people seem to be craving escapism, but what's interesting to me is the kind of escapism that Wicked offers. It's not just about, like forgetting our troubles.
Yeah.
It's about exploring these, complex themes and emotions within, a fantastical setting.
That makes me think about some of the other big fantasy films that have come out this year, right?
Yeah.
They all transport us to these different worlds, but Wicked seems to be doing something more. Like, it's not just about the spectacle. It's about the way the story, like, reflects our own anxieties and hopes and aspirations.
Exactly. Take Elphaba's journey. She's born with green skin, an immediate outsider in a society that values conformity.
Right.
She's judged and feared simply for being different. That's a powerful metaphor for anyone who's ever felt marginalized or misunderstood.
It's true. You can't help but root for her as she challenges the status quo, refusing to be defined by the labels that others try to impose on her.
Yeah.
And it makes you think about the labels we encounter in our own lives, right?
Yeah.
The boxes people try to put us in based on our appearance, our beliefs, our circumstances.
And what's so brilliant about Wicked is that it doesn't offer these, like, easy answers. It doesn't tell us who's good and who's bad. Instead, it invites us to just question those categories altogether.
Oh, okay.
What does it even mean to be wicked, right? Is it simply about defying authority? Or is there a deeper, more nuanced understanding of those terms?
Right. And it's not just about individual labels. The film also takes aim at larger systems of power that perpetuate these binaries of good and evil. Think about the wizard, this seemingly benevolent figure who turns out to be quite manipulative and power-hungry.
Yes. He represents those who control the narrative. The ones who decide who gets to be seen as good and who gets to be demonized. It's a reminder that power can be used to distort the truth, to silence dissenting voices, and to maintain the status quo.
It's a message that feels incredibly relevant today, especially when you consider how information is disseminated and how quickly narratives can spread online.
Absolutely. Wicked reminds us to be critical thinkers, to question the stories we're told, to look beyond the surface. It encourages us to seek out multiple perspectives, to challenge assumptions, and to recognize that things are rarely as black and white as they seem.
And it does all of this with heart, humor, and some truly unforgettable music. Speaking of the music, I have to say that the soundtrack is one of the things that really elevates this film. It's not just about catchy tunes. The music is deeply intertwined with the storytelling, amplifying the emotions, the themes, and the characters' journeys.
Oh, absolutely. The music is, like, integral to the experience. Take Defying Gravity, for example. It's not just a showstopper. It's a powerful anthem for anyone who's ever felt like an outsider, anyone who's ever dared to challenge expectations. It's a call to embrace your true self, even if it means going against the grain.
It's interesting how that song has taken on a life of its own beyond the stage and screen, right? It's become a rallying cry for various social movements, a symbol of empowerment and resistance.
That speaks to the power of music to transcend cultural boundaries and connect with people on a visceral level. And in Wicked, the music does more than just entertain. It moves us, it challenges us, it inspires us.
And it adds a layer to the story's message about finding your voice and using it to challenge injustice.
Precisely. Wicked is about finding your voice, even if it shakes the foundations of the world,
Speaking of shaking things up, let's circle back to that conversation about audience behavior. and how people are engaging with the film. It's great to see so much enthusiasm. But there's also this fine line, right, between expressing your enjoyment and disrupting the experience for others.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Is it just a matter of finding a balance, or is there something more fundamental at play here?
That's a tricky one. I think part of it is generational. Social media has become so ingrained in our lives that for some, like the impulse to share and document every experience is almost automatic.
It's like this constant need to prove that you were there, that you participated,
Yeah.
that you're part of the cultural conversation.
And I think that ties into this broader trend of fandom and how it's evolving. Being a fan isn't just about, passively consuming something anymore.
Yeah.
It's about actively engaging with it, creating content and connecting with other fans online. It's a way of expressing your identity and belonging to a community.
Right. So in a way, these seemingly disruptive behaviors could actually be seen as a form of passionate engagement. Like, it's not necessarily about being disrespectful. It's about experiencing the film in a way that feels authentic to them, even if it clashes with, I don't know, like traditional notions of movie etiquette.
Right. It's about challenging the boundaries of what it means to be an audience member,
Yeah.
to blur the lines between spectator and participant. And who knows, maybe this is just the beginning of a larger shift in how we experience art and entertainment in the digital age.
That's a fascinating thought. So we've got this box office juggernaut, a story that's sparking important conversations about identity, power, and social norms,
Right.
and a whole new way of engaging with film that's challenging traditional boundaries. What's the one key takeaway you'd want our listener to walk away with from all of this?
If I had to choose just one, I'd say it's this. Wicked reminds us that the stories we tell ourselves, the labels we embrace, and the systems we uphold have a profound impact on how we see the world and our place in it. Don't be afraid to question those stories, to challenge those labels, and to imagine a world where things could be different.
Beautifully said. And that brings us to a crucial question I want to pose directly to you, dear listener. We've been talking about how Wicked challenges these traditional definitions of good and wicked.
Right.
So take a moment to reflect. How do you define those terms in your own life? What labels do you challenge, and which ones do you accept without question?
That's a powerful question, and one that I think will stay with us as we move into the final part of this deep dive.
That question we left you with at the end of part 2, it really gets to the heart of what makes Wicked so thought-provoking, right?
He does.
It's easy to just accept the labels we're given,
Right.
the stories we've been told. But, this deep dive is all about challenging those assumptions and looking at things from a new perspective.
It's about recognizing that the lines between, good and wicked,
Yeah.
they're rarely clear-cut. There are shades of gray in every character, in every situation,
Yeah.
and in ourselves. And Wicked doesn't shy away from that complexity.
Right.
It embraces it.
Yeah. And in doing so, it encourages us to do the same, right?
It does.
Like to examine our own biases.
Yeah.
To question the systems that define those labels.
Uh-huh.
And to consider the possibility that things aren't always what they seem.
One of the things that strikes me about Wicked is how it highlights the power of perspective.
Right.
We're so used to seeing the world from a certain point of view, in this case, like the traditional Wizard of Oz narrative,
Right.
that it's easy to forget that there are other ways of understanding the same events.
And Wicked turns that traditional narrative on its head. It shows us the story from the Wicked Witch's perspective,
Right.
forcing us to reevaluate everything we thought we knew about good and evil, about heroes and villains.
And it reminds us that history is often written by the victors.
Right.
The stories we're told, the narratives we accept, often reflect the biases and agendas of those in power.
Oh, wow.
Makes you wonder how many other stories have been silenced, how many perspectives have been marginalized.
It's like those moments in the film where Elphaba is trying to explain herself to make people see her side of the story, but she's constantly being misunderstood, misrepresented,
Yeah.
and ultimately silenced. It's a powerful reminder that those in power often have the loudest voices, but that doesn't necessarily mean they have the truth.
And it's a call to action for all of us. To be more critical of the information we consume, to seek out diverse perspectives, and to amplify the voices of those who are often marginalized or silenced.
Right. It's about recognizing that there's always more to the story than what we're being told, and that it's our responsibility to dig deeper, to ask questions, and to challenge the status quo.
Exactly. And that's what makes Wicked more than just like a fun escape. It's a story that stays with you. long after the curtain falls, prompting you to reflect on your own beliefs, your own experiences, and your own role in shaping the world around you.
And it does so with this, I don't know, like blend of humor, heart, and like spectacular visuals that make it a truly immersive experience.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons this story continues to resonate with audiences year after year.
Right.
It speaks to something deep within us, right? This desire to understand ourselves and the world around us better.
And it gives us hope that even in the face of these seemingly insurmountable challenges, we can find the courage to stand up for what we believe in, to challenge the status quo, and to create a more just and equitable world.
Beautifully said. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Wicked, we want to leave you with a final thought. Something to just ponder as you go about your day. We've been talking a lot about labels. About how they can be limiting and how they can be challenged. But what about the labels we choose for ourselves? What stories do we tell ourselves about who we are and what we're capable of?
That's a powerful question. Perhaps the most important label of all is the one that we give ourselves. And maybe, just maybe, Wicked reminds us that we have the power to rewrite that label, to redefine our own narratives and embrace the full complexity of who we are, good and wicked and everything in between.
That's a perfect note to end on. So until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep defying those, limiting labels. And remember, there's a little bit of Elphaba in all of us, that spark of defiance, that yearning for something more, that courage to challenge the status quo and create a world that's a little bit more magical, a little bit more just, and a little bit more, wicked.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.